So I wanted to catch your attention with that thumbnail for this video. For the regular viewers on my channel that expect reviews on fidgets and stuff like that, this is a camping video. Occasionally I do a camping vlog, and it's just something for me to look back on and have some fun with, and I like to do this videography, I'll call it. I'll probably, cook a nice steak and talk about camp a little bit, catch you up. If you haven't seen one of my camping videos, then I'll just give you a quick tour, give you an idea what's going on out here. It's beautiful. It's my second night out this year. It's been so wet and rainy. Last week I actually took Friday off so that I could camp Thursday evening, and tonight is actually Monday night, and I went to work today and then left a little early, and I came out here, and it'll be raining tomorrow morning when I leave, and rain for days and days after that. So it's like we've got Seattle's weather now, and it seems to be pretty constant. And our winters are very mild, nothing like we used to have. Very, very soft, mild winters. So anyhow, I got to get out here when I can and enjoy it when I can. And like I said, the rest of this is going to be camping stuff. I'll probably get into the fidgets a little bit, but I'll cook a meal and show you around and everything. And if this isn't your thing, don't let it scare you off. Do not unsubscribe. Just hold tight there, because the next video is bound to be a review video, or like I said, another video that I'll work on tonight. And like I've been thinking about doing an ASMR type of video too, because I've seen a few other people do that, and I kind of like that. Depends on how it's done and setting and everything like that. So we'll see. But I just wanted to let you know what was going on. Check it out if you like it. Camping. If you don't like camping, maybe you will like camping. I'm a car camper. My car's right over there. I'm on a friend's property. I've been coming out here for 30 years, and I'm about 5 miles away from everybody, so it's very nice. But I'll give you a tour next, okay? Thanks. So we're going to take a little tour of my camp, and right now we're just on the outside edge of the field. I've been camping here for about 30 years now, and let me flip you around. You see the car is all scratched up. The path back here is very narrow, and I haven't really cleaned it up for a long time, so I've given up on the paint job with this thing. It's a trusty little car, tailed up for 10 years now. There's my little sign. My camp is located just outside of where Flight 93 went down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I have an interesting photo of whenever they did a memorial with the spotlights. But this is my camp. I have a tarp system that I fold the front down when I'm not here. I put 4 rocks on it, and that just keeps everything inside dry. I keep firewood in there and some fuel and the benches and stuff like that. And the tent, of course, I take down. I take that with me when I have to leave the tent here. Say it's raining like hell in the morning and I want to leave it up for a few days. Well, I have a game camera on that tree right there, and let me show you what that caught last year. We have a creature around here called a fisher cat, and well, let me just pause here and show you. So that's a Fisher cat, and I was not here that night, but he went in and around and underneath my tent there, checking it out. Now those are about the size of a bobcat, and they're supposed to be ferocious. I haven't really seen evidence of that when I look up videos of them, but they're supposed to be ferocious. I'm glad I didn't run into him. Either way, he probably would have shot the other direction. But simple camp. I don't. You could call it glamping, really. I don't bring a lot of electricity with me, but I do have a nice little portable Bluetooth speaker. Does the job. My backpack here, I keep that out until nighttime. Coleman white gas or Coleman fuel lantern. Lights the place up pretty good at night. I've got some of my cooking utensils and a hatchet up there. Real nice tripod cooking system here, except I really need to replace the grill. The grill's in pretty bad shape. It'll still work, but you got to risk your meat falling down through some of those holes. I've had it for a long time now, though. Fire pit, nice fire pit. It's a design I've used for years now. This whole camp setup, as you see it here, is actually pretty much a copy of how it was set up, but it would have been set up about 50 feet behind where we are now. Well, not behind me, but in front of where the campsite is now. So down there, out ahead of us, about 100 feet away, we had the same campsite set up, me and a friend of mine, and it fell apart a long time ago, and I rebuilt everything back here when I came back in 2009, 2008, and I moved everything up. But the tarp system's really nice. You know, you can stay in here if it's not too breezy. If it's raining and the rain's coming straight down and there's no wind, you're in golden shape. You can even have a fire and everything. But if it's breezy, then the wind blows the rain underneath, and it's kind of a, you know, you don't want to really be out here that much. So I did take, like I said, I don't know if I said, I took Tuesday off, and I'm out here on a Monday evening because it's the only window of opportunity that isn't rainy. And the wind is out of the southeast and southeast this evening, which is kind of blowing my tarp. It hasn't knocked down the stick yet, but looks like it will. Anyhow, I'm going to be cooking steak tonight, and you know, this is just some of the stuff I keep back here. Garbage pail that I don't put anything in there that might attract animals, but I always clean it up, empty it out. And then these are just some of my containers for stuff like my sleeping bags and pillows, and then camp utilities and things, napkins, aluminum foil, bug spray, such. And then I've got my tripod, and that little box down there is my camping cooler, and I keep just a couple cans of soda. I don't drink anymore. And then my steak and a few other things are in there. I always have my other plastic container as a little table that I keep beside me, and I've got two awesome flashlights. They're the soda can variety, if you've heard of that sort of thing. I used to be into the flashlight collecting community, but those are pretty powerful lights, and they can really light the place up. What do I got there? A can of bear spray, a headlamp, my phone case. I always have it's probably a 13-inch machete. I always carry that in the back of my pants there when I'm hiking and everything. And then a can of soda. I always put something on top of my soda to keep the bugs out. So that's it. We're set until it's time to cook. I think that's when I'll bring you back in. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. Like I said, this is kind of special. I don't give a tour of the camp every time I do this. It's just something I'm doing here tonight because it's the first time I'm videoing out here this year. Like I said, I did camp last week, but I didn't feel like trying to video anything. So this is the first video of the year. I'll be out here waking up in the rain hopefully tomorrow morning. And yeah, join me a little later. I'll bring you in when it's time to cook. Otherwise, if anything else happens, I'll bring you back. It's not really even that cold out. I think, in fact, it's probably in the 60s right now, and it's only supposed to get into the mid-50s tonight. But I always cook on charcoal. It's easier to cook on charcoal, I think. And then a little bit later, then it gets darker. It's about 7 p.m. now. I got started a little bit later than I thought I would. But once this burns down to the coals, I'm going to get my steak started. I'll show you that. And we'll get everything cooked. And we'll move on from there. But it's going to be a little bit of time until this burns down. So I'll bring you back in. Here is my camp from the viewpoint of the hillside above the camp. This is also where my game cam is located. Nice little camp. I just have to rake it every spring and get her going again. So it's a little hard to put this into scale, but this is the stone quarry, what we call the old stone quarry, located behind my campsite. It's pretty well flooded, mostly more flooded than I've ever seen it. It's a big crater in the ground that's about 15 to 20 feet deep, and usually that pond is a very small pond located at the very far end there. But I was down there today. That's where I did my short videos for YouTube. And as usual, there must be thousands, if not tens of thousands of tadpoles down in there. Like, this is the only pond, body of water up in this hillside in this region. And right now water's plentiful, but whenever water's not plentiful, this is sort of an oasis. And there's all kinds of tracks. I've only caught birds, but I haven't really made much of an effort to set up my game cameras, but I've seen a lot of deer, a lot of turkey. The coyotes come. They've come 4 times at least at night, and they get a little braver each time. But they're not here for the water. Real quick, while we're doing the tour, this moon lens tent that I got on Amazon for, I believe, $80 to $60 has turned out to be a really, really nice tent. It's a 3-season tent. You wouldn't want to take it out in the wintertime. The whole outer portion of it there, the fly they call it, is waterproof, and it covers up the inner portion, which is almost entirely mesh except for the bathtub floor, which is about 8 inches high. That's the gray part you can see on this side, and that's about where it ends. There's a tiny vestibule on the front side and an interesting large vestibule on the back with a flap that opens up and can be sort of a patio roof canopy sort of thing. You could cook under it and work under it if the rain was light. It'd be pretty nice. So I'm pretty happy with that. I don't hike. I don't know what it weighs. I don't know if it would be a good hiking tent or not. But the tarp system is just something that I've been using for years. We did the same thing down the hill, and I've done it in other places. And in the wintertime, I just fold that front down. And actually, this winter, I left it up like that, like a teepee, and it stayed up. But normally, I take the whole thing down. It's easy to take down because all of the connections are stainless steel eye bolts and nuts, so you can just unscrew everything, and then I just sort of fold everything up onto the ground here and put all the loose rocks on top of it, and if there's any extra wood left in the season, and then of course there's still the fuel and everything, and the benches, they get stored under there all winter, and they get nice and safe. But I left it up this winter, and it didn't get torn apart by the wind. I got lucky. Like I said, we were having very mild winters lately. So let's check on the coals here. I don't see any more flare-ups, so I'm going to go ahead and start prepping the steak. I had to move my chair over because the wind, I think, is going to be blowing the smoke a little bit more that way more often than not. So we'll see. I might even have to move that chair a little bit further this way. But let's get those steaks ready. Okay, we're just going to get things out like I normally would if I was doing this by myself and nobody was watching. Got the butter spray. We've got steak. Okay. Get this so the wind won't blow it away. Alright, then we've got salt and pepper. And I think we'll leave it at that for right now. I'm going to need my knife and fork, spoon, and a can opener. So we'll do the can opening thing last. We don't need to do that yet. But here's what I'm going to have for a vegetable. This is great Southwest corn. It's got corn with peppers and stuff mixed in it. So that's really, yep, we're not going to do that yet. Wait till we get a little bit closer to the time. And now, let me readjust my chair here. Roll up my sleeves. You'll have to excuse my absolutely filthy camping attire, but this stays in the car, and its whole purpose is to be out here and get dirty. I wash it every once in a while, but it doesn't smell, so no problems there. Let's go ahead and open this up. I like to watch other people on camping videos do their cooking. It's always satisfying for some reason. I'm no expert. I think I know how to cook a steak. So I'll put a little bit of salt, pepper on both sides, just a little bit. I like these that you can grind yourself. You can set it 3 different ranges there, so you can have a real coarse pepper or a real fine. I keep it real fine. Okay, flip those over. They look gorgeous. Okay, salt. More pepper. And that should do it for now for both of those. But I'll keep them out because I put those on my corn. When the corn's ready, 57 steak sauce is my favorite steak sauce, and the butter spray works really well with the canned vegetables. So that is ready to go. Let's put it on the coals. Okay, so I'm going to bring the grill down about 6 inches. 5-6 inches above the coals. We'll start there. And then, based on where the coals are burning the best, and where this thing comes to a steady rest, I'm going to place one piece here, and one piece here. Ooh, that's over a big gap. I'm not going to put that piece there. That would be a little bit too risque. So I'm going to put the other piece right here. And that'll leave me a place to put my soup. Not my soup, my vegetable. I'm taking my sweater off because it's feeling pretty nice with the fire. So we can go ahead and get some of those crows. The crows and the ravens were going out pretty good earlier today. First thing you want to do is remove the paper from your can of vegetable. Can't get it all, it doesn't matter. And then open the top. But don't take the whole lid off. Darn it, lost my track. Lost it again.
bad set of can openers or just operator error. That's really not working well. This is not good for video. You know what? When I come back, this is going to be open. Well, for the life of me, I don't know what caused that problem, because as soon as I turned the camera off, I was able to work it perfectly fine. So I left a small strip on the back there, so I can use that as a handle. And then I'm just going to place that in the coals. So using my leather gloves, which are critical on a campsite, I think, I'm going to push that can in to those coals and just nestle the coals up against it. I knocked a few loose. I'm just going to leave it like that for a while. A little later, we'll turn it this way, then we'll turn it that way, make sure it's not getting burnt. Now that's a can of corn. The can on the inside, as far as I know, does not have any kind of plastic lining. It's just a metal can, so it doesn't matter if hot coals are laying up against it. If you have a can of something like asparagus, asparagus cans are lined with plastic on the inside. I think the acidity of the asparagus might eat through the can otherwise. And you don't want to stick a can of asparagus right into the coals like this, because the plastic might melt into your food. I think we're safe here. I'm also going to set the timer on my watch for 15 minutes and let those cook nice and slow, and we'll check them after that. Okay, that's been about 15 minutes on one side. This process sometimes is not very pretty because the grill is so rusted the meat wants to stick. Hey, that one came up nice. Look at that. Come on, you. Hey, looking good. Looking good. Oh, while we're here, let's give the old can a turn. I'll come back and I'll turn it this way in another 5 or 10 minutes. I think we're going to go for another 10 or 15 and then I'll check. Okay, these guys have been on 15 minutes both sides. I'm going to raise them up to where they're just going to be kept warm, and I'm going to let them rest for about 5 or 8 minutes. One last time I'm going to spin my vegetables around so the other side gets heated up good. They're probably heated up pretty good right now as it is. Let those rest, and then we'll come back and cut them open and see how we did. Okay, I'm going to put some butter spray on my vegetables. This is like the most convenient way to do this, especially if you're making corn on the cob. Give a good healthy, unhealthy dose of that. And we'll do a little unhealthy dose of salt and a healthy dose of pepper. That off the forest floor. Alrighty. I've got my trusty camping cook utensil set. I really like this corn and pepper mix. So good. Got my fork. Got my knife. Make sure that's clean. All right. Looks good. Looks good. I like it either medium or medium rare. I don't like it well done. Let's just see how we did here. Mmm. 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 Oh my gosh. That's just what I needed. Mmm. I never cook anything for myself at home, so this is a real treat. Always is. I'm probably going to save the other one, the other piece of meat, for a little later this evening. And some of the corn. This will be excellent. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Excellent, excellent meal. Pretty simple too. So, I'll leave you with that. And I'll let you know when we get the fire started. Get the fire going. Get the lantern going. And relax for the evening. Here we go. Well, it's about 11:30 at night now on Monday evening. Had a good time, had a good meal. Weather held out. It's been breezier than it should have been, probably about 20 miles per hour. It's still fairly breezy, and that hasn't been too big of an issue, but I'm glad I brought some jeans because I was only going to wear shorts. So I thought I'd light the place up, light the camp up one more time for you before I let that last of the wood burn out. I've gone through all that wood in a matter of hours. And I plan on going to bed in a few. So maybe I'll fill you in between now and then. If not, this could be close to the end. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the next segment.